If you ask anyone the fastest way to make bells in Animal Crossing, they might tell you to play the stock market and sell a bunch of turnips. But did you know that there are other, more reliable ways to make quick money? Go diving. All you need is a wetsuit. You can get them pretty early on, actually. When I played the game, which was since launch, diving wasn't even a thing in New Horizons, and it came out in the 1.5 Summer Wave 1 update in, I think, June or July of 2020. That brought with it wetsuits, which is the equipment that you need to dive. You can get them via Nook's Cranny, the Nook shopping app during summer, and you can also get one for Nook Miles in Resident Services. They rotate out. There are 4 colors of each except for the Nook Miles one, and you can also probably find them for sale on your friends' islands. The snorkel accessory sold by Able Sisters is just that, a snorkel. It's an aesthetic thing, you don't need it to dive, and same with the Nook Ink one, though it does match the wetsuit pretty well. Once you have a wetsuit in your inventory, you can equip it over your clothes, but not over a wand outfit, which is stupid, and you also cannot add it to your wand. And then you can hop in the ocean. Swimming with a wetsuit is the only way to dive, and you can't use them in rivers or lakes. New Leaf actually had a mechanic where a jellyfish would appear every so often in the ocean and sting you. I think it would disguise itself as a sea creature that you could catch. I can't exactly remember. Also, if you went diving in New Leaf in the winter months, your player would shiver after getting out of the water. Sadly, neither of these mechanics were brought back in New Horizons, but that's not really surprising. Diving can take some time, and a few of the creatures require a little bit of technique with treading in the water as opposed to outright mashing the A button and swimming. You kind of want to sneak up on a few of them like you might with some of the rarer bugs. The Venus flower basket, Gigas giant clam, and umbrella octopus are a few that come to mind. Once you have a good amount in your pockets, you can head on over to Nook's Cranny and sell them. Rinse and repeat. Unfortunately, sea creatures do not have an NPC that will buy them at 1.5 times, nor can you make models out of them, and I was actually really disappointed that CJ wouldn't have taken over this job somehow, but I guess that's too much to ask. I really would like an umbrella octopus model, please. Diving does take a lot of work, and you're not sure what you're going to get really until you have it. Occasionally you can take a guess with some of the faster creatures, but it's kind of like fish where you may go by sizing and speed, but the end result is more of a mystery. Sell your crops and meals. The 2.0 update introduced cooking and growable crops. This is more time consuming than diving unless you want to take the easy way out and time travel. Your crops will grow in groups of 3 provided you water them once a day. You can pick them and sell them outright to Nook's Cranny for a bit of a profit, or you can cook them into meals which will yield you more money. My entire favorites category of cooking recipes consists of anything worth over 750 bells, as I will usually gift my villagers cooked meals and try to get their photos. Typically, selling meals will yield you more money than selling crops outright, however, it really depends on the cost of the cooked item. You can find information on cost by looking at an app such as the Planner for ACNH that I use on my phone. There are other apps out there, and I'm sure you can just Google the price or do some trial and error at Nook's Cranny. Cooking and crop growing go hand in hand, so the last thing I'm going to mention is probably so easy it's laughable. Sell hot items. Every day, the board outside Nook's Cranny will list what the hot items are. You can also ask either Timmy and Tommy when you go inside. I believe the smaller version of Nook's Cranny might have 1 hot item per day, although I could be wrong. It's a long time since I've seen one of those stores in the game, and I obviously don't have it on my island as I have the upgraded version. Hot items are always bought at double their price, and they are always going to be a recipe that you, the player, know how to craft. If you have multiple players on the island, I believe that the hot items go by what the resident rep knows how to craft, although I'm not 100% sure on that. In my experience, any of the meals or drinks available as a hot item are always something to do with your native fruit. In this video, you'll see that I had orange smoothies as my hot item of the day, and my native fruit is oranges. I'm positive that this is a thing for each island depending on what your native fruit is, which makes sense to me. Selling a hot item also means that you're going to have crafting materials on hand, or maybe go to a Nook Miles island and farm some things and come back and try to make them, but that's really up to you. It's a quick way to make money, and it's more reliable than turnips, although it may be a little more slow going. I mean, you can spend 1,000,000 bells on turnips and take your chances with the stock market, or you can hope that you have a friend that has a higher price. There were some websites around where you could get into a queue to sell turnips on people's islands. You would also get a dodo code when it was your turn in the queue. I don't think those are as active anymore, as New Horizons is not as actively played. There's definitely still a community out here for the game. Obviously, I'm part of it, but it's died down in terms of the general hype. I'm by no means telling you not to play the stock market. You can do whatever you want. And if you buy X amount of turnips every week from Daisy May, I believe it's 1 bunch or 3 bunches, something like that. If I find the actual amount, I'll put it in here. She will give you a cooking recipe the next day in the mail. There are 4 cooking recipes to obtain from her in the mail, and they require bamboo shoots and turnips in order to make. You can also see Joan in the hospital the next day if you have Happy Home Paradise and have spoken to Daisy May at least once, and obviously have the hospital built. If you talk to her, she'll give you a random assortment of turnips. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful, and now you'll be able to go make some bells without breaking the bank with the stock market. Please leave any comments, feedback, and suggestions down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!